The first years of Elvis' acting career had a few highlights, and this was one of them. At the time, many critics said it was one of his best performances, even though it had really no connection with the Betty Davis and Edward G. Robinson original version of decades before. So today, we're talking about a movie that gets shown quite a bit on Vision TV in Canada, Kid Galahad. Now, this 62 American musical film, where else would it be? Starred Elvis Presley as a mechanic who's also a boxer. Released by UA in August 62, it opened at number 9 in the American box office. Variety ranked it as 37 on its list of the top grossing films of 62 with a 2.5 million gross. Now, Galahad was shot on location in Idlewild, California. Its supporting cast includes Oscar winner Gig Young, Lola Albright, and a young Charles Bronson. Some critics rate the film as one of Elvis Presley's best performances. The film is a remake of the 37 version, which UA Television, through Associated Artist Productions, distributed for TV airings at the time. Starring Edward G. Robinson, Betty Davis, and Humphrey Bogart, and directed by Michael Curtiz, who also directed the 58 Presley film King Creole. In this one, Willie Grogan, played by Young, is a small-time boxing promoter and innkeeper of Grogan's Gardens, based in the Catskills Hill Resort region of Green Valley, in the upper Hudson River Valley of upstate New York. He is a contemplative, contemptible man who is in debt and pays little attention to a woman who loves him, Dolly, played by Lola Albright, a chain-smoking, love-starved woman residing at the camp. Ooh, I see a plot twist. Now, young Walter Gulick, played by Presley, arrives, a young man recently discharged from the U.S. Army, in a uniform on the back tailgate of a moving company truck. Walter loves the peaceful setting of the heavily forested village of Green Valley, where he was born years before, almost as much as he loves working on old cars, with a neighboring Prohosco garage where the owner gives him free reign at his repair shop establishment. Now, Walter soon finds occasional work there as a mechanic in the outer garage, plus discovers an old dusty antique Ford Model T sedan car up in blocks under a tarp, which Prohosco lets him fix up and restore. Now, when the Grogan's Gardens boxing camp owner, Willie's younger, beautiful, raven-haired sister, Rose Grogan, played by Joan Blackman, shows up unexpectedly on a visit from an office job downstate in New York City. She becomes immediately interested in a handsome young singer, mechanic, amateur boxing student Walter, viewing him amusedly after meeting him from the random porch of the log cabin Grogan Lodge. Willie objects because he doesn't want little Rose to fall for a greased monkey, a mechanic, and a two-bit boxer. His longtime girlfriend and on-off-again fiancée Dolly is envious of the young couple's romance and resents her boyfriend Willie's interference. Now, Walter, in need of work, also accepts a position as a sparring partner for some of the training boxers, especially having accidentally knocks out one of Willie's top prospective fighters. Willie is then persuaded to let Walter, nicknamed as Kid Galahad because of his polite behavior and chivalrous attitude, to try his hand in a real contest bout. Both the men are reluctant but need the money. Walter begins training under the watchful, experienced eye of Lou, played by Bronson, Willie's top trainer coach, and Howard Zimmerman, Judson Pratt, his assistant. After numerous successes in the ring, Walter is ready for his biggest fight. Unfortunately, some heavy gangsters led by Otto Danzig, played by David Lewis, a New York loan shark and gambler fight fixer, criminal gang leader, also wants Willie to get Walter to take a dive and lose the bout on purpose so he can clean up on the gambling betting odds, and then therefore Willie can pay off his gambling debts. But Walter barges in on the hoods, imitating rousting fight of a visit by Danzig and a couple of his tugs when the attack trainer Lou, breaking his hands, finger, bones. So Walter fights, beats up and quickly knocks them all out in the back kitchen when he hears them doing their dirty work and throws his muscle behind Willie to ignore their further attempted intimidation and threats with the help of a visit by Frank Gerson, played by Ed Astor, a assistant district attorney and investigating prosecutor. The fight with Ramon Sugarboy Romero, played by Orlando de la Fuente, a real-life welterweight boxer during the 60s. It is hard and difficult, but Walter emerges bloody but victorious. He wins the big fight as well as Willie's approval, retiring undefeated after a short career to his 1920s vintage Ford Model T red car, the heart of his new adoring love, Rose. Simple plot, works though. Now, cinematography by Bernard Guffey, edited by Stuart Gilmore, music by Jeff Alexander, production company is the Merge Company, and story by Francis Wallace with production by David Weisbart. Now, key actors in this, of course, is a young, not say a young Ed Asner, but he's uncredited in this movie. Red West, one of the Memphis Mafia, plays a boxing opponent and student at boxing camp, with Sonny West and Joe Esposito as uncredited friends of Elvis. Now, De La Fuente, again, was a real-life reigning welterweight boxing champion at the time in the early 60s, besides acting, appearing in several other films and TV series. Now, former light welterweight world champion Mushy Callahan trained Presley for his role. Callahan, who also appears in the film as a referee, had a long career as a pro boxing referee after retiring from the ring as a fighter. According to Callahan, he threw all of the punches in the close-up scenes in which Presley is struck in the face. He taught Presley how to move his head backward as the punches were being delivered, so that each blow either missed him or barely touched him. Callahan considered Presley to be an excellent athlete. Now, shooting began in early November '61 at Hidden Lodge, Idlewild, Pine Cove, Fern Valley, California, near the higher altitude ford and slap of the San Jacinto Mountains in Riverside County in far western Southern Cal. The site was chosen to resemble the film stated location of far further east in the northeastern United States, with a similarly heavily forested hills, low ridges of the Catskills, which are north of New York City and further north up the Hudson River Valley, of the semi-wilderness of the Adirondack Mountains of upstate New York and New York State. Initial filming shooting was done there before a storm forced a later move of the movie set production to Hollywood and LA to continue the interior scene shot, but there's some beautiful outdoor scenes, of course. Now, Bosley Crowder, New York Times, suggested that Presley was miscast as a boxer, writing that he's certainly no model for a statue of Hercules, and his skill of projecting an illusion of ferocity of very low degree. However, he found the film to be moderately genial entertainment. Harrison reports graded the film as good. Presley is surrounded by some very nice people and lending him support to give strength to the run-of-the-mill story that plays itself out with a simplicity of appeal and bountiful residue of entertainment. Less positive view came in Variety, saying the story may be old, but the direction not especially perceptive. The performances in several cases pretty poor, but United Artists' Kid Galahad is apt to be a moneymaker in spite of all this. The LA Times called the story old hat, but should satisfy the horde of Presley fans. Now, the Monthly Film Bulletin wrote, if the wit and intelligence lavish on the excellent dialogue had also been used to give a shred of ingenuity to the plot or a momentary sparkle to the lyrics, this would have been a much more amusing comedy. Elvis Presley repeats the amiable old performance he gave recently in Follow That Dream, but is nowhere near as funny, partly because his farcical opportunities are fewer, but mainly because it's hard to laugh continuously at someone whose face is seen a couple of times bruised and bleeding in a ring. Now, Kid Galahad ranks 50% on Rotten Tomatoes based on 6 reviews. It is what it is. Like I said, it's a movie of its time. It's before the Beatles. It's like, kind of. But seeing Elvis Presley and the whole cast doing the twist, it's kind of freaky because it's like the white band's version of the twist. And as the years were going on, where Elvis started his career with a lot of R&B and black kind of performance in him, he kind of lost it by Kid Galahad. But it is what it is. If you like Elvis, you like a boxing movie, it's a trifle. These movies that Elvis appeared in were translated into French and were shown continuously every summer on show TV in Northern New Brunswick. So this movie is much better in French. So if you understand Acadian or Quebecois French, I suggest watching Kid Galahad because it gives the Elvis character a little bit more of a dramatic spin. I would give this 3 stars out of 5. As a boxing movie, 0, but an Elvis movie, it's Elvis. And Elvis, I used to be a mechanic, now I'm a boxer. He probably would sing that. It's too bad I wasn't sing, I used to fix the cows, now I fix their face. Or something like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're an Elvis fan, I recommend the movie because how many times you can see Elvis as a boxer / mechanic / twist fan. With Charles Bronson, Ed Asner, and Gig Young. So, it is what it is. Thanks for listening, ladies and gentlemen. So, the latest Elvis podcast. If you like what we're doing here with our vintage tribute to the King, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share.